The Dutch dream. In the heart of the Netherlands, nestled among green fields and rows of tulips, lay the charming village of Zaanse. This picturesque place, with its iconic windmills and serene canals, was home to a young man named Pieter. With light brown hair and curious green eyes, Pieter had grown up in Zaanse, working at his family's cheese shop. Though life in the village was peaceful and comfortable, Pieter's heart longed for something more. He had a dream to create something of his own, something that would make him proud. One crisp morning in April, when the sun rose early and the tulip fields were at their brightest, Pieter received a letter from an old friend, Marieke. She had moved to Amsterdam years ago, chasing her own ambitions, and now invited Pieter to visit the city. The timing couldn't have been better. The tulip season was at its peak, and Pieter had been contemplating a change, feeling restless in the small village. He packed a small bag, waved goodbye to his parents, and hopped on the train to Amsterdam. The train ride was short but full of excitement, and as he watched the countryside zoom by, Pieter's heart raced with anticipation. He had been to the city before, but this time felt different. This time he wasn't just visiting. He was searching for inspiration, for an opportunity to build his dream. When he arrived, Marieke was waiting at the platform with a wide smile. She had changed since the last time he'd seen her. Her once quiet demeanor had been replaced by a newfound confidence. She was an artist now, working with a collective in the city's vibrant cultural district. "Welcome to Amsterdam, Pieter," Marieke said, her voice full of enthusiasm. "I can't wait to show you around. So much has changed." The two friends wandered through the narrow streets lined with bicycles and cafes, over bridges that arched gracefully across the canals, and into Marieke's studio. The walls were filled with her paintings, colorful depictions of city life and abstract interpretations of nature. Pieter was mesmerized by her work, especially one painting of a tulip field, swirling with vibrant shades of red and orange. "I've been thinking a lot about what you said in your last letter," Marieke began, handing Pieter a cup of coffee. "You want to create something of your own. What exactly are you dreaming about?" Pieter hesitated, unsure of how to put his thoughts into words. "I don't know yet, but I feel like I want to combine tradition with something new. The family business is great, but I want to innovate. I just don't know where to start." Marieke smiled knowingly. "I think I have an idea. There's someone I want you to meet." The next morning, Marieke took Pieter to a modern cafe in the Jordan district, a hub for creative minds. There, they met a man named Johan, a successful entrepreneur who had started a small but booming business selling artisan chocolates inspired by Dutch culture. Johan was tall, with an energetic presence that immediately caught Pieter's attention. "Marieke tells me you're looking for inspiration," Johan said, shaking Pieter's hand firmly. "I started out small too. My family made traditional chocolates, and I found a way to give them a modern twist. Now we're selling across Europe." As they talked, Pieter's mind began to race. Johan's story was the kind of success Pieter had always dreamed of, and it made him realize that his dream didn't have to be just a fantasy. It was possible to take something old and make it new. He just needed the right idea. Over the next few days, Pieter spent his time exploring the city, visiting markets, museums, and artisan shops. Everywhere he went, he noticed how the old and new blended seamlessly together, from the historic canals to the cutting-edge modern architecture. Inspiration was everywhere, and slowly, an idea began to form in his mind. One afternoon, as he sat in a bustling cafe, Pieter's gaze fell on a plate of Dutch stroopwafels. Those sweet, thin waffles filled with caramel syrup. They were a classic treat, beloved by locals and tourists alike. And then it hit him. What if he could create a new version of this traditional snack? Something healthier, perhaps, or with unique flavors inspired by Dutch ingredients. Excited by the idea, Pieter rushed back to Marique's apartment and shared his vision. She loved it. "You found it, Pieter. The Dutch dream. A way to bring something new to a beloved tradition," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. With Marique's help, Pieter spent the next week researching ingredients and talking to local bakers. They experimented with different recipes, trying out combinations of flavors like lavender and honey or spiced apple and cinnamon. Each day, their creations got closer to perfection. On his final day in Amsterdam, Pieter presented his concept to Johan. The entrepreneur tasted one of the new stroopwafels, a lavender and honey version, and nodded in approval. "This is brilliant, Pieter. You've taken something iconic and made it your own. I think you're onto something big," Johan said, his voice full of encouragement. With renewed confidence and a head full of ideas, Pieter returned to Zaanse. He shared his plans with his family, and together they began to develop a new line of stroopwafels. Word spread quickly, and soon tourists and locals alike were lining up to try the innovative new flavors. Pieter's dream had come true. He had found a way to honor his family's traditions while building something new and exciting. The Dutch dream was no longer just an idea, it was a reality. And as his business grew, Pieter knew that the possibilities were endless. Through his journey, he had discovered that success wasn't just about finding the right idea. It was about believing in yourself and daring to make it happen. As the sun set over the windmills of Zaanse, Pieter stood by the window of his shop, watching the customers come and go, a satisfied smile on his face. His Dutch dream had only just begun, and he couldn't wait to see where it would take him next.
Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, and share our channel Magic Mingle with your friends to enjoy more magical stories.